try to do my best to clearly explain how I did this sub and amplifier wiring. So, if you watch my previous video, a lot of people disliked it. My previous video explaining this same wiring, a lot of people disliked it due to the fact that I made a mistake through the firewall. And I highly recommend, before I even get into this video, make sure if you're going to poke through that firewall, you've properly pushed it through the firewall without touching the metal, and also you have some type of protective covering to the wire. I'll get to it in a second, but right here up front, as you see, I have my positive, my power wire that goes all the way back to the subwoofer, to the amplifier, that is, right here. But how did I get it up here? There's also a fuse, just to let you guys know. So this right here, you could actually, if you see here, there's a screw on both sides. When I did this the first time, I got a very, very stiff coat hanger, right? Coat hanger, a very stiff one, about this stiff, about this thick. And I straightened it and taped, this piece I put after I sifted through the firewall. And I screwed that portion. But I wrapped a whole bunch of black tape, electrical tape, with the coat hanger wire, right? Just imagine that was, you could visually see that on that end right here like this. I went over here. It's hard to get down there, but I'll show you. I went down here where the firewall is. If you see where the red wire is, that's the firewall. So I got the coat hanger, taped it to the edge of that cable, and fished it through the firewall all the way through here. And I got a flashlight with the help of a friend to spot it. And I think it was right through, where did I see it? Right through there, right? So I had a friend somewhere in there. I saw the head of the coat hanger wire poking out. So I went out, grabbed it with some pliers or something like that. Then I pulled it out. And then when I pulled it up here, I did this portion where you attach the fuse. So I screwed that side in. You know, I took the tape off, screwed that side in, and screwed this side in, put the fuse in there. Then I connected this to my positive battery terminal. So I hope that explains clearly how this is done. Now, the next part that I'm about to explain, you have to make sure that you do this properly, or you could end up having a bad battery, possibly burning your car, or God knows what. Like, a lot of things could go wrong in your car. So make sure you do not make this mistake. This is the most important part. Let me show you. Now, let me get comfortable. It's kind of difficult. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about when I say the firewall, right? This is the power cable, and you see there's this. This is how important this step is. First and foremost, when you are pushing this coat hanger wire through this firewall right here, make sure that you are not poking any of these wires in any way. What I mean by that is, if you're poking this through, this appears, let me see if I get a better angle. Sorry, guys. This appears to just be going straight, right? That's what it looks like. It's going straight. But in reality, it's going up. And this cable is also going up. It just looks like it's going straight. So when you're poking this through, make sure you're not poking any of these wires. When I did this the first time, I tried my best to avoid it. I believe I avoided it. But the reason why I say you have to be careful is once you poke this through, you can't see it. Now, when I first did this, when I keep saying poke, quote unquote, I didn't even poke it through. What I did was I put the coat hanger wire underneath here. This actually moves. See? This is just a flexible piece of plastic. You see this? It has some give here if you push on it, as you can see. You see that? Right? So essentially what I did was I pushed this at the bottom because I was like, oh, you know what? I don't want to be close to those wires. So I decided to literally just push this up, put the coat hanger wire in there, and then fish it up through the firewall. But my mistake was, and while I had battery issues and I had to get a new battery, was this cable was touching here. I thought that this was thick enough to, you know, not get this cut. But if you have a Honda Civic, you could experience this and know what I'm talking about. If you put your finger here, you can feel how sharp this metal is. So what happened was this cut into here when it was down here, and you know, this is a lot of amps. There's a lot of power going through here. If it touches that in the least bit, it's gonna mess up either the amplifier or battery in some sense. It's gonna mess up something electrically. So that's what happened. I had to get a new battery. How I fixed the solution was, and you're probably looking like, there's still a possibility because this isn't protected. You can't see here, I'm not going to pull this out, but I got some type of protective padding from Walmart. Like, I forgot what it's called. I think it was some foam or something like that. That's all around here. I have a whole bunch of that. Sorry for the brightness. I have a whole bunch of that around this wire inside there. So how did I do this? I actually got a very, very sharp X-Acto knife, cut it straight here. As you can see, that's super glue on top in the middle. But I cut it straight here and moved this from down here back to here. But before I moved this here and super glued it, I pulled this back, wrapped it with some protective coating or padding. Then I pushed it back in there and super glued that. So that's how I fixed this issue. Since I replaced my battery and done this, I've had zero problems. Zero. Okay. Oh. It's tight back here. So, yeah, let me also, sorry about the brightness. Let me get back to explaining the rest of the process. So you guys see clearly how this was from here to here. I hope that explains the process. This as you can clearly see, this is kind of higher than it should be. I've had no problems with it. I wanted to get a more sleek or better looking piece here, but this is all they had at Ace. So, like I said, it's worked fine. So let's continue with what I did next. So if you have a Honda Civic, this is the coupe version, as you could clearly see. But if you have any type of Honda Civic, it's relatively easy to get this wire in this panel here, right? You see it's right here. This is the fuse. Let me show you. As you see, the fuses are up here. This is where that power cable is. I could literally just pop this with my hand, this panel right here, and then fish it through back here. And it's in here right now. So if you see the wires like here, 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 and you see it sticking out a little right there, because when I did it, I never really went back time to tuck it underneath these panels here. And then as you see, it goes back there. You can see a little bit back there. I'll open up the seats, then I fish it back there. I'll get to the trunk in a little bit. But how did I get this through, you ask? What you have to do is, this plastic piece, you see? This comes off. Look, it literally comes off. And because this is here, you see how sharp that looks? That's how sharp it is underneath the firewall. And that is actually even thinner than this. This is like more for, strength. But anyway, point is, you could take this off. Let me put that back. You could take this off all the way through. That's what you have to do. You have to take this all the way off. All this, pop this off. Then you will see that you could pop this off, this piece right here. You can literally pop this piece off, pop this piece off, pop this piece off. After all this is come off, and then you could, fish the wire, the power cable through here. There's perfect spacing right underneath here that you can run it through here. And then, same thing here. You're gonna take this off all the way, and then you're able to pop this panel. Wait, it's not this piece. This piece. This piece here. You're able to pop this piece off, and then, like as you can see here, what I did. So you'll be able to pop this off, stick this behind here, pop it back on, and also my remote wires here. I didn't even mention, this remote wire right here is connected to, let me show you guys. Damn, how could I forget? That's one of the most important parts. So you can see it right there, right? Hope this is picking up on the camera. But you can see my remote wire is connected to, what fuse number is this? I'm not even sure, but if you have a Honda Civic, this is the same exact setup. You know which one it is. This is the very, very, very first one. This has worked for me perfectly fine. I've had no issues getting it to start. As soon as I start my car, the amp turns on by itself. So the way I did this was I used a fuse. I pulled out the fuse, right? And what I did was I put this, you see those slots? You see how there's those empty fuses, right? Like right here. I put it on the left side and got a fuse puller or pusher, whatever it's called. I put it to the left side and pushed it in while the exposed piece of the remote wire was there, as you can see. So that's how I got that to work. So let's get to the back now. So yeah, this was a lot cleaner when I did this the first time. I just never been able to fix it. But getting back to the configuration, as you see, this is the power cable here, right? I fished it through, or you could just release these seats, push it forward for ease. But I fished it through. I wrapped it in this kind of, you know, this whatever it is, as you see. Point is, you fish it through here, and then you wire it any way you would like. Some people put it on the back of the sub. Some people put it on top. Some people put it like behind the seats. Some people on the sides. I just didn't want to screw anything because I didn't know if I wanted to swap this out for, you know, more amps or, you know, whatever the case may be. So I used Velcro. That was my approach. I used Velcro. The next video, I'll go more in depth of these gain settings. Just watch my next video and you'll see what I mean. But yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. Also, to explain this part, what I have right now, this is a Kenwood KSC 501, 1000 watts max. This is a Kicker Comp R, 600 RMS. So this is a good combination. Now, what you see here is my auxiliary cables, right? These auxiliary cables run through here and connect to my, I forgot what you call this, input-output converter, whatever it is. Essentially, it's taped so you can't see it, but essentially, this is designed to capture the signal coming from my subwoofer, right? Now, if this is the touring, if you have the regular EX and the lower trims that don't have subwoofers, you're gonna have to find a way to tap into these speakers. You see it right here? Those two cables, right? You're gonna have to find a way to tap into that. And then there's another one over here. There you go. So I actually forgot, because I used to have an EX model and I forgot which cables are which, but go ahead and do your own research. There's guys out there that will tell you which colors are for which signals, but you have to get the proper ones to tap into this converter. Right here you see these two cables are going directly into my, let me see if you guys can see that. It's probably hard to see, but this cable you're seeing right here, this cable was connected back here to my subwoofer right there in that port, right? And the reason why I disconnected was like probably 4 months into having this, my stock subwoofer started like making this clacking and clapping noise. Like it would, how do I describe it? It would just be like tap, 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 tap when it was low beats, and I could tell that the speaker is going bad. So I just decided to take it out, and it sounds a lot better without that noise. It was cool having two different subs, you know, having a good range, like a good mix of, you know, obviously that could go a little higher on the frequencies and this could be a little lower. But like I said, it's just that noise was terrible to me. I just took it out, and I was thinking about replacing it, but something tells me that the reason why this broke wasn't because I was pushing it through the console, like the front, or blasting too much. I just think that this subwoofer is loud and it shakes the whole entire car. So something tells me that this subwoofer is the reason why that broke. Post a comment in the comment section and tell me if I'm wrong, but it never happened. This was fine. Like, this was perfectly fine until, I don't know, man, until I got this. So it's either that I just, you know, I play my music extremely loud, or this just shook it to the point, because this shakes my whole entire car. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is working hard and this is working hard. This is going to, you know, this could possibly throw it off as it's going up and down. That's just my theory. I don't know. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much how this is done. If you guys have any questions, definitely put in the comment section. I'm willing to let you guys know what I've done, and if you need more help, just let me know. Yeah, comments about this box. It's definitely a great box, man. I definitely recommend it. At the time I got it, as I told you, it was $250. You could definitely get it on eBay for a lot cheaper. So yeah, guys, it is what it is. Yeah, that's a quick explanation of how this was done. So I guess see you guys in the next one. Be safe in this pandemic. All right then, peace.